Hey guys, it's Kira with Polymer Clay TV, and today I'm going to show you how to jelly print and silkscreen a polymer clay jewelry set. Aren't these cool? You just need a couple simple tools to get started and a jelly plate. So I'll show you what that is coming up. Let's get started. I have these mini jelly plates. I didn't open this one yet because really I used the square and the circle, and what you're going to need to do is take them out of the package and affix them onto an acrylic block. So this is on a 3x5 acrylic block, and the jelly plate itself is this thick rubbery kind of just a plate that you're going to use for printing. And then I have this round acrylic block that I have actually drew this design on it, but this side is the plain acrylic. So I have the circle one on there as well. You're also going to need some things to texture your clay with. So I would suggest small sized stencils with small designs on them. I also have a selection of clear stamps that I affixed onto some more acrylic blocks, some things that had some really nice small textures. And I collect things like bubble wrap. This is a really tiny bubble wrap that I just had to keep. And you're going to need acrylic paint. So I have a set of acrylics. These I think are like the Michaels brand. Oops, sorry. And I got this Artist Loft set of neons at Michaels. This is Pebeo Studio acrylics, which work really well for this application, for rolling out with a brayer, for using on your jelly plate, and also for silk screening. This is an Artist Loft metallic bronze. I like the metallics. They give a little different look, so you can throw those into your mix as well. And then you're going to want something to store your sheets of clay that you have extra. Sorry, that's cat hair. So I got this little wedding brag book at Michael's for $2. It's just one of those you can like slip photos into this. It's 4x6, but each page is coated with that clear sort of sheet protector plastic, and it makes a great folio for these thin sheets that I'm collecting now that I am doing this jelly printing technique, because you're probably going to end up with a little bit more clay than you're going to use maybe in one sitting. So the first thing you're going to want to do is condition up and roll out some white clay and some dark colored clay. This is actually black mixed with fuchsia to give a sort of brown look. And this clay is Primo white mixed with Primo granite white, because my granite white was very, very crumbly. So I just mixed them together, which gives me this sort of mottled look that I like for my background, so I'm cool with that. And then you're going to want to make some thin sheets of them sandwiched together to print on. So I'm actually going to just show you quickly printing on those sheets of clay. The printing actually goes really fast. So you'll see people put their paint directly on their jelly plate, but I am not going to do that. And the reason for that is that this jelly plate is so tiny that in order to get a really nice coverage, I'm better off rolling my paint on the paper and then onto the plate, so that I can get nice coverage on my actual printing plate. And then I'm going to use these tools. So for this one, I'll use the stencil, and then I'm going to lay my clay onto the plate, burnish the back a little bit, and these are just things that I discovered when I was testing my technique. The reason I'm laying the clay on the plate and not the plate on the clay is because sometimes then you get a sort of bubble where the clay maybe isn't lying flat on your table or whatever. So then you're going to want to quickly stamp the ghost image off onto your paper. And I did yellow because I need yellow for my designs, and I was kind of out of yellow. But I am going to now do a green one so that you can really see what's going on here. So I've got another fresh piece of clay, and for that I'm going to use this fun stamp and put some green here. This paint is still a little wet, so I'll go ahead and use that to my advantage. And you want to pick up and move around your brayer. This is, by the way, a soft rubber brayer, not a hard one. I like the soft one better for this. Okay, and then just roll out a nice even layer of that onto your block. And when you're using a stamp, you'll want to stamp and then stamp it off on the paper. Stamp again, stamp it off on the paper. See what I'm doing? Just getting rid of the stamping on the paper there, and then I'm going to go ahead and roll my clay down onto the block. You don't want to mush it on the block because then you'll mush your design, but just lay it and make sure it makes contact and then pull it off, and you get this interestingly designed piece of clay. And then you go ahead and stamp that off on your paper, and it basically cleans your block for you. All right, and I'm going to show you now why I have this metallic paint lying around, and I also keep all my other rubber stamps on the table while I am doing this process, because I am using sketch paper because I know that if I'm careful, I can actually use what I'm creating here. So I'll just show you how that works by putting a little bit of my metallic paint down. I'm going to roll that out. And this time use my circular jelly printing block. And I'm going to stamp right onto that block this image. And then I'm going to flip this over right onto one of those excess waste images. And I have this pretty bird now, and you usually have lots of wet paint left. The paint will work for a long time, so you can keep going. And sort of get things out of your extra little paint images. Throw them down on the paper. You never know, you might want to cut that out and collage with it later. So that's why I actually use good paper for this process, the process of cleaning my brayer and cleaning my, my jelly plates with, because then I have this to use later. So that's just a tip of like not feeling like you're just making a mess and throwing away all the paper. All right, this is my finished product for today's tutorial, and I'm going to show you now how we go from these sheets that I just made to this. So basically you'll want to roll out a piece for your backing, and this is just a piece of black on a number 3 medium thick on your pasta machine, and then you've got your pieces of clay that you jelly printed, and the clay is raw still, and the paint is dry. Okay, and I've got my little booklet of all my other colors and pieces that I might want to work with, and I have a nice sharp straight blade. So what we're going to do is just cut off pieces of this, and create a design on here. So you're basically just laying strips of your already prepared jelly printed clay onto a background, and you'll put them up against each other. You should come out with something that looks kind of like this. So you've got your background clay and then all of your strips stuck on there. And then we're going to take this to the pasta machine and we're going to go this way and then this way. So here we are sending it through the long way first, and I'm just on a number 1, just starting to get them stuck into the clay. And then I'll go to a number 2 and I'll go this way. Let's see how this one is doing. Put this one in at a number 2 also in that direction because I had already rolled this one time. And if you wanted to, you could take it to a number 3, or you can feel your surface and see, you know, maybe this is enough because it's pretty flat. So I'm going to say that's good and go from there. All right, the last step is the silk screen. So I'm going to use the peacock feather from the Feather Your Nest collection at Create Along, and this collection is all about feathers. And you'll see some fun stuff happen in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and decide which part of the design I want to capture and go ahead and press it down on the clay, shiny side down. And then I've got some just regular acrylic paint. This is a metallic coal color, so basically it's metallic black. And I just put a line of it on the side of the screen. And I'm going to use this fun orange squeegee to get it onto the clay. A couple different directions. And peel it back. And then take this straight to the sink to rinse it out. Once you have your pieces silk screened and dry, then what you do with them, the sky is the limit. So I'm just going to show you my little idea. I had pre-baked some gems using this mini bling mold. So these are baked and cooled and ready to play with. And I took my henna petal cutters because I feel like this is a good shape. I'm not going to use the actual impression of the design. I'm just using the shape of the outline to cut because I felt like it was a good shape to capture some of the feather stuff going on. So I'm just going to make sure by checking all the sides before I cut this that I've captured the right part of the design. And then I'm going to go ahead and make 2 of these because this is going to be a pendant and these are going to be earrings. And the silk screen gives you lots of room to play with as far as getting interesting little pieces of the design. Okay, so that's going to be my pendant and earrings. And then you've got lots of fun scrappy things to play with. And I figured that I might embed some of these gem things here just because it might be interesting to try, like up here on the earring. And since it's already baked, I can mush it in and make sure it's gonna stick. And then I thought I could make some kind of a fun and funky jewel design thing with this too. Okay, so silkscreen pieces are just fun to play with. I mean, you can do so much with them. So you just play. And I might not use all of them, you know, maybe I'll just use those pieces so that that set goes with that. And then I've got a poker so I can poke some holes before I put this back in the oven and bake it. How should I hang that? I think I might take a piece of black clay and make a little bail. So I'll come back and show you what I made, or maybe I'll show it in the intro. That's a good idea. So I hope you had fun and this got you interested a little bit in jelly printing on clay. It's a different way to create a really fun background. So this is what I use, mini printing plates from jellyarts.com. Have fun and come back and see us at Polymer Clay TV.